She walked into the casting room like a ghost, plain clothes, no makeup, clutching a worn script in trembling hands. The casting director barely looked up. "Are you lost? This is for the lead, not extras." Scattered laughter rippled through the room. Someone whispered, "Small town trash." But Marina Collins stood still, eyes steady. They didn't know the script in her hands. She'd written every word of it. If you've ever been underestimated, hit like and subscribe. Silver Lake Studios towered over West Hollywood, 40 stories of glass and steel where dreams were minted or crushed daily. The third-floor casting suite was Hollywood's gladiator arena. Plush couches, award statues gleaming from glass shelves, headshots of A-listers lining walls like trophies. Marina stepped in, 28, her auburn hair pulled back in a simple ponytail, warm brown eyes carrying a quiet intensity. She wore jeans and a faded blue button-up, no designer labels, no statement jewelry. Nothing that screamed, "I belong here." But beneath that unassuming package was a mind that had crafted worlds on paper that made executives weep. The room wasn't just a room, it was a jury box. 5 industry titans with the power to greenlight or guillotine. Alexis Hart, casting director, perched center stage. Her crimson blazer matched her lipstick, both sharp as knives. Ryan Porter, producer, lounged beside her, Rolex flashing as he scrolled his phone, boredom weaponized. Emma Blake, studio exec, tapped manicured nails against her coffee cup. James Wilson, director, studied his notes through designer frames. And then there was Damian Wells, Hollywood's golden boy, sprawled in his chair like he owned the oxygen in the room. He'd star in the film, if they ever found the right leading lady. Marina handed over her headshot and resume. Plain paper, no gloss, just her name and a handful of community theater credits. Alexis took it with 2 fingers, like handling something contaminated. If you've ever walked into a room that was designed to reject you, like and subscribe. "Marina Collins," Alexis drawled, not bothering to actually read the resume before passing it to Ryan. "Tell us about your acting experience." Marina straightened her shoulders. "I've done theater mostly. 3 years with Boulder Community Playhouse. I was Ophelia in—" "Community theater?" Ryan interrupted, actually laughing. "This is a $20 million production, not a high school gymnasium." Marina kept her voice level. "I understand the scale is different, but the emotional truth is—" Emma cut in. "Honey, we've seen Oscar winners today. What exactly made you think you belonged in this room?" "I connect with this character. I understand her journey because—" Damien yawned theatrically. "Did you even read the script? This character is supposed to be magnetic, captivating, someone who walks into a room and owns it." Marina's fingers tightened around her script. "Yes, but beneath that confidence is vulnerability and—" "Your outfit screams, 'I shop at Target,'" James added, gesturing vaguely at her. "Our lead needs to be aspirational. Wardrobe can—" Alexis held up a manicured hand. "Let's just see what you've got. Page 38, the confrontation scene. Damien will read against you." Marina flipped to the page, heart hammering against her ribs. Damien sighed as if being tortured, grabbed his script with a flourish. "Don't worry about getting too close to me. This is just a read-through." He winked at Alexis, who smirked back. Marina took a breath. The words on the page, her words, were her only shield now. If you've ever had to prove your worth to people who decided you had none, hit like and subscribe. Marina began reading, her voice soft, too soft. "We can't hear you," Emma called out. "This is film, not mime." Nervous laughter rippled through the room. Marina cleared her throat, started again. Her voice steadied as the character's words, her words, flowed through her. The scene was building, the emotion rising when— "Stop, stop," James waved dismissively. "You're supposed to be confronting him, not reading a grocery list." Marina tried again, pouring more into it. Damien rolled his eyes. "Are we really doing this? I could be at lunch with Spielberg right now." "Let's try something," Ryan suggested, standing. He circled Marina like a shark. "Maybe you need some real emotion to work with. Tell me, what's the most humiliating moment of your life? Channel that." Marina swallowed hard. "I'm channeling the character's emotions, not my personal." "That's your problem," Alexis interjected. "No life experience to draw from. Nothing authentic." Emma laughed. "Bet she's never even had her heart broken." Have you ever even dated someone who wasn't the assistant manager at your local Walmart? Marina's cheeks burned, but she held her ground. I understand emotional truth. That's what matters for this role. Emotional truth? Damien mimicked her tone. Listen, small town, this industry eats emotional truth for breakfast. What we need is star quality. He turned to the others. This is painful. Can we move on? James nodded. Let's skip to the monologue. Page 52. Marina flipped pages while Alexis whispered something to Emma, both giggling behind their coffee cups. The monologue. The heart of the screenplay. The words Marina had rewritten 17 times, often through tears. Whenever you're ready, James said with thinning patience. Though I think we've seen enough. Marina took a breath. Now or never. If you've ever stood your ground when everyone in the room wanted you to disappear, hit like and subscribe. Marina began the monologue, her voice finding new strength. The room grew quiet, not with interest but with surprise. Her transformation was subtle but undeniable. She was 3 sentences in when Ryan's phone rang loudly. He answered it in the middle of her speech. Yeah, hey Mark. No, nothing important happening. Marina faltered but continued. Emma and Alexis exchanged glances, their smirks fading slightly. James leaned forward, puzzled. Wait, where did you learn to... He shook his head. Never mind. Continue. Marina reached the climax of the monologue when Damien stood abruptly. This is ridiculous. She's butchering my future lines. Your lines? Marina couldn't help but ask. Damien's smile was acid. Yes, sweetheart. My lines. When I'm playing opposite Mila Kunis or whoever gets this role, definitely not you. Enough games, Alexis stood, clapping her hands twice like dismissing a servant. Thank you for coming in, but this isn't the right fit. Marina held her ground. I haven't finished the... Yes, you have, Ryan said flatly. Dave, can you show her out? A security guard appeared in the doorway as if summoned by magic. Marina felt the blood drain from her face. The exit is that way, Emma pointed, not bothering to hide her contempt. Don't forget your... She gestured vaguely at Marina's headshot, now lying on the floor where someone had apparently dropped it. Marina knelt to pick it up, noticing a fresh coffee stain spreading across her face on the paper. Oops, Alexis said without remorse. Accidents happen. As Marina reached for her script, Damien snatched it first. You know what? I'll keep this. Study how not to deliver these lines. He flipped through it carelessly, pages bending. Though honestly, this writer didn't give me much to work with. Amateur hour. Marina froze. The script isn't... Dave, please escort Ms. Collins out, James called, already reviewing the next headshot. We're running behind. The security guard took her elbow, firm but not rough. Time to go, miss. Marina didn't resist. The hallway stretched before her, endless and cold. Behind her, she heard Damien's voice. Next time, send in someone who at least looks the part. Laughter followed her out. The elevator doors closed on her reflection, a small woman, invisible to an industry built on appearances. She bit her lip, refusing to give them tears. Her phone buzzed, a text from Michael. How'd it go? She couldn't type the truth. Not yet. The lobby loomed ahead, each marble tile another step toward the exit where other hopefuls waited, eyes bright with the same dream that was dying inside her. Outside, Los Angeles sunshine felt like a spotlight on her failure. Marina walked to the parking lot, each step heavier than the last. She reached her car, an old Honda with a dent in the passenger door, when she heard someone calling her name. Marina, wait! She turned to see Patricia Zhang, the film's executive producer, hurrying across the parking lot. If you've ever had your moment of redemption arrive just when everything seemed lost, hit like and subscribe. The Silver Lake Studios executive conference room buzzed with tension. Emergency meeting called without warning. Executives in tailored suits shifted uncomfortably, eyes glued to phones, whispers cutting the air. Alexis sat rigid in her crimson blazer. Ryan twirled his pen nervously. Emma's perfect composure showed the first cracks of concern. James removed his designer glasses, polishing them repeatedly. Damien lounged, scrolling through his phone, the only one seemingly unbothered. Another budget meeting? Thrilling. The doors swung open. Patricia Zhang entered, tablet in hand, her expression unreadable. The room quieted instantly. I understand you all met with Marina Collins yesterday, she said, her voice carrying despite its softness. Alexis nodded professionally. Yes, unfortunately she wasn't quite what we're looking for. Not up to par, Ryan agreed quickly. Lacked presence, Emma added. James just nodded, avoiding eye contact. Completely wrong for the project, Damien concluded with a dismissive wave. Patricia's smile didn't reach her eyes. Interesting assessment. She placed her tablet on the table, tapped the screen. Let me introduce you properly to Marina Collins. The door opened again. Marina walked in, same simple ponytail, same unassuming presence. But now, standing beside Patricia, something was different. Something in her eyes. Marina isn't just an actress, Patricia said calmly. She's the writer who created every word of the script you're so eager to film. If you're ready for the tables to turn, like and subscribe. The silence was absolute. 5 faces frozen in various stages of horror. Patricia continued, her voice steel wrapped in silk. Marina wrote Invisible Tides 3 years ago. It survived 17 rejections before landing on my desk. The screenplay you all called, what was it, Damien? Amateur hour? Damien's golden boy complexion drained to ash. Ryan's pen clattered to the table. The screenplay, Patricia continued, that started a bidding war between 5 major studios, the one our CEO called the most emotionally honest work he'd read in a decade. Alexis's crimson lips parted, but no sound emerged. Marina wanted to audition anonymously, to be judged on talent alone, not as the writer we're all desperate to work with. Patricia's smile was glacial. An experiment in integrity, you might say, one that proved illuminating. Emma's manicured nails dug into her palms. We didn't know. Clearly, Patricia cut her off. Would knowing have changed your behavior? That's precisely the question. Marina finally spoke, her voice quiet but unwavering. You told me I didn't understand the character, that I lacked emotional truth. A small smile touched her lips. I wrote her. Every fear, every hope, every word. James stared at the script in front of him with new horror. The monologue. The one you didn't let me finish? Marina nodded. I wrote it about my mother's death. About standing in a hospital room watching someone you love disappear while the world keeps turning. Ryan shifted uncomfortably. Look, in this business, Patricia interrupted, we claim to care about authenticity while worshiping packaging. We talk about emotional truth while chasing Instagram followers. She opened a folder, removed what looked like contracts. The studio heads have reviewed the security footage from yesterday's audition. 5 faces paled simultaneously. Your comments about Target shopping and Walmart boyfriends were particularly memorable, Emma. Patricia slid papers across the table. These are restructuring notices. This project is moving forward with a different team. Alexis gasped. You're firing us? Over one bad audition? Not firing, reassigning. Patricia's smile was pure venom. To projects better suited to your demonstrated values. Marina watched silently as 5 careers imploded in real time. And Damien, Patricia added, about your role, we've decided to go in a different direction. Someone who embodies the character's humility and depth. Damien's jaw clenched. You can't cut me. My contract has a morality clause. Section 8, paragraph 4. Patricia didn't even blink. Marina's script deserves better. One by one, they gathered their belongings in shocked silence. No one made eye contact with Marina as they filed out. If you've ever watched Karma arrive right on schedule, hit like and subscribe. Word spread through Hollywood like wildfire. By evening, industry insiders whispered about the Silver Lake meltdown. By morning, trade publications ran the story. Alexis's assistant position at a reality TV production company was announced via press release, a spectacular demotion from casting director. Ryan found his producer title downgraded to associate on a low-budget horror sequel. Emma's corner office became a cubicle in marketing. James's directing dreams collapsed to second-unit work on commercials. His designer frames couldn't hide the humiliation as former peers avoided eye contact at industry functions. And Damien? His star imploded fastest. The Golden Boy's reputation tarnished overnight. 3 pending projects mysteriously found scheduling conflicts. His agent's calls went unreturned. The actor who'd never worried about his next role was suddenly without one. Meanwhile, Invisible Tides moved into pre-production with spectacular momentum. A-list talent circled, directors campaigned. Marina found herself in meetings where everyone had actually read her work, twice. 1 week after the disastrous audition, Marina sat in Patricia's office, reviewing director options. "You could have told them who I was from the beginning," Marina said quietly. Patricia shook her head. "Would have defeated the purpose. People show you who they are when they think you're nobody." Marina nodded, thinking of the security footage, her humiliation preserved in high definition, now transformed into their downfall. "By the way," Patricia added, sliding a revised contract across the desk, "the studio wants you to take a supporting role, if you're interested." If you've ever found success on your own terms after rejection, hit like and subscribe. 1 year later, a coffee shop in West Hollywood buzzed with morning rush. Baristas called out orders over the hiss of espresso machines. Damian Wells stood behind the counter, green apron tied around his waist, designer stubble replaced by actual unkempt facial hair. His golden tan had faded, dark circles underscoring eyes that constantly checked the door, hoping no one from his past life would witness his fall. "Grande latte," he called half-heartedly, sliding the cup forward without looking up. "Thanks," said a familiar voice. Damian froze, slowly raising his eyes to meet Marina's. She stood before him, no longer the invisible woman in plain clothes. Her simple elegance was intentional now, cashmere sweater, understated jewelry, confidence that needed no announcement. He swallowed hard. "Marina, It's good to see you, Damian," she said, and meant it. There was no triumph in her voice, no gloating in her eyes. Behind her, movie posters plastered the coffee shop walls. Invisible Tides featured prominently, the indie darling that became an award-season juggernaut. Marina's name appeared twice, for screenplay and supporting actress. Damian's hands trembled slightly on the counter. "Your film. Congratulations." Marina nodded, dropped a $5 bill in the tip jar. "Everyone deserves a second act, Damian. Even you." She turned to leave, then paused. "My next screenplay is about redemption, about what happens after we fall." She smiled, not unkindly. "Maybe you'll have something to contribute when the time comes." Marina walked out into the California sunshine, script ideas already forming. The woman they'd once dismissed now carried the weight of her success lightly. She didn't need their approval anymore, but she hadn't forgotten what it felt like to be invisible. If you've ever realized your greatest strength came from being underestimated, hit like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that hit deep.